Had a little listen to his podcast, huh?
Dude, it's educational. And besides, I've been wanting to listen to this one.
Welcome to Idling in the Impala, a podcast by and for lovers of supernatural and the fan fiction it inspires. Before we begin, just want to remind you to like, subscribe, follow wherever you listen to us so you don't miss any episodes or bonus stuff that we do. I'm Sandra.
I'm Karlee, and happy motherfucking birthday to us
Happy
on Thursday.
birthday.
In brackets, in parentheses, on Thursday. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to this podcast. We are turning 2, guys. I was going to sing, but Sandra said that if I sung, I'd have to sing on my own. While I'm not bothered about singing on my own, I am bothered about singing on my own for the whole
I
internet
used to think I could sing, and then I realized I couldn't. So
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't stop. You don't get better at singing if you stop. And also, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? I won't make you sing happy birthday.
Okay.
I won't.
Yeah. Good.
The tension in this Zoom call is palpable because she's worried I'm going to break into song at any moment, and she's either going to have to leave me, hang me out to dry, or join in, and I don't know which is preferable to her. So I will not sing. Okay. But it is our birthday on Thursday, so this episode is going up on the 26th, and we are officially 2 years old on the 28th of December. 2 motherfucking years. Holy crap.
So what? They usually call it the terrible twos or, whatever, but I figured we'll call it toddling in the Impala for the episode because I feel like we're just sort of like getting our legs and sort of feel like figuring it out, like how to do the thing because we are so fucking professional all the time. But we were trying to figure out, so what do we do to celebrate our 2nd birthday? And I think last year we kind of did like a recap. We listened to our very first episode and talked a little bit about what we were going to be doing or hoping for, how it's changed. I think sort of the goal is to talk about all of the different milestones we've hit and some of the highs of the past season as Karlee moves vigorously around the document. Certain things.
I wasn't doing anything. I was just highlighting.
I'm watching. I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? I'm like, okay.
No, I was just, you ever just like idly highlight shit when someone, like when you're listening to someone talk.
And I was like, are they trying to direct me? Things that I do doing?
No,
again, we're so professional. So yes,
we're so professional.
Karlee, do you want to talk about some of our accomplishments that we've had this?
Oh, because I highlighted them.
Because you highlighted them vigorously.
I was playing. just in before though. Sandra might be content to call this like toddling in the Impala and we're getting our feet under us and stuff. But as someone who has experienced the terrible twos with 2 different children, I am fully going to embrace that. We are going to get a whole lot more divisive because we're not divisive enough. Not enough people have a problem with us, and it is my aim to change that this year. No, I'm kidding. We're going to carry on. We're going to. I think we've settled into our kind of niche.
Controlled chaos, I think.
Being fucking professionals.
Yeah, but controlled chaos too in a little bit of a way. I think the way that we handle the podcast is a little bit of both. And I think that's good. I think that's fun. I think that gives us reason to want to keep doing it too,
Yeah.
Because we'll come up with ideas or different things. We just had a little brainstorm right before we started recording about, this might be really interesting to talk about in an episode next season. So, it's like it's getting those little, I think, bursts. Because honestly, for those listening, if you've ever endeavored to do something like this, that's really kind of like another part-time job, you have to really enjoy doing it if you're not going to get paid for it. So I think we found a lot of good in what we do and a lot of benefit from it. And I think that's what we're going to be talking about in this episode. So I'll get to hear about it.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's run down some. Sorry, guys, I'm just opening up links because I'm a fucking professional and I didn't open them up before we started. So just a little rundown of some of our like most exciting highlights because there's been fucking loads this year. It's been a good year for the Impala. But we have officially posted an episode every single week this year. When
Mhm.
we first started this, we were like, we're going to do every other week.
Mhm.
You know, that's fine. That's manageable. And way back when, we used to meet to record like once a month. And now we're like, okay, we're going to have to meet on Friday to do this because we've got 4 fucking interviews on Saturday. And then I'm going to check in with you on Monday. We are busy people now. This is genuinely, this has turned into like a part-time second job that we don't get paid for. But it always started as a labor of love. We were never, this was never something that we did because we were like, shit, we're going to make bank from it. We were like, we just want to talk about Supernatural and we're boring our friends. So there's a whole internet out there. We'll talk at them about it.
Mhm.
But we have posted an episode every single week. This is obviously the last episode of 2023. I'd love that our birthday is right at the end of the year because that's just nice.
Yeah.
That's a good time because you can look back on like the whole year, you know, like if it was like in June, you'd be like, I'd feel like I could only look back like 6 months because then I'd be like, that's last year. We've forgotten about that. That doesn't count anymore.
It was good timing, I think. I think it was good
Yeah.
timing when we decided to do that post and get started.
And it was just pure luck. There was no design. There was no thought to it. That was just the date that we picked. We just picked a Tuesday. It was a Tuesday in 2021. It's not a Tuesday now.
Yeah.
But it was.
Yeah.
But yeah. So number-based highlights. We hit 100 followers on Spotify, which is Sandra, like there were tears. There were tears. So many Supernatural gift hugs exchanged because I mean, if you're brand new, why have you started with our second birthday episode? But if you are brand new, welcome. We live an ocean apart, a continent apart. So fucking far apart, guys. It's not even funny. So when we hit 100 followers on Spotify, I couldn't say to my husband, like, I'm just going to pop around to Sandra's and give her a hug. There's an ocean in the way, guys. There's no popping anywhere. It's like a significant flight. Yeah. So we hugged in Messenger. There were many Supernatural gift hugs exchanged. I even pulled out a hug from the finale, which threw the whole thing off because Sandra was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But it was the only happy hug I could find. Aww. Supernatural hugs are not happy. They're usually someone's gonna die or someone just nearly died or someone's back come back from the dead.
Yeah.
So it was the only happy hug I could find, but it threw the whole conversation off. She was like, what's wrong with you? Are you okay?
Are you
I was
okay?
Like, it was the only happy hug I could find. And she was like, I feel weird now. And I'm like, yeah, that seems fair. I just started sending generic like cat hugs then. But that was something. So again, if you are new, or I don't think we talked about behind the scenes too much of recently, but Sandra tends to handle the Spotify side of things and I handle the YouTube side of things. So Spotify is like, that's Sandra's baby. So she was watching those numbers like I watched the YouTube numbers like a motherfucking hawk.
Very carefully and with bated breath, and also held, because once we get over 100, I'm like, are we going to stay there?
What if it stays? What if it stays? Yeah. So we were on 99 for a long time. That was 10 to hooks for a long time. But then it was, an exchange of messages and just like, oh my God, we did it. We made it. Oh my God, that's fucking sweet. And that is, that's awesome. There's like 100 of you guys out there on Spotify that are like, I want to listen to these two crazy bitches.
I want to be notified whenever they have an episode come out. And, I will probably be listening to it. And that's an amazing thing to know that there's people out there that want to listen to us talk about something that we enjoy and gets us all in our feels and stuff like that. It's so sweet. It's sweet. It's sweet. We really do appreciate all of that. Yeah.
100%. All up in the fuzzy feels. We definitely had an episode that was like all up in the family feels. Yeah. Oh God, it's been so long. There's so many episodes, guys. Please help. We have a problem. To contrast the Spotify side of things, I handled the YouTube side of things. And we're so close, guys. We're so close. We're at 90 on YouTube. We're so close. And I would be fucking stoked if we could hit 100 before this episode goes out, which is weird to say now because you won't know if we did. So I can't even say to you, like, please subscribe, guys, because it's not going to be enough time.
At time of posting, 2 days. We'll be able to say too, like whether or not, like you'll be able to find out one way or another. And even if it's just us, I have a feeling when we reach 100 on YouTube, you're going to want to like do a little something somewhere. So something's
I
going
might
to go
do.
out. Yeah.
I might
Yeah.
do. I'll tweet it. I tweeted when we hit.
Mhm.
Tweeted when we hit 100 subscribers, 100 followers on Spotify. I tweeted when we hit 69 subscribers on YouTube because it made me laugh.
Yeah, we might even record
'Cause
something
I'm a child.
for YouTube. Really quick little, hey, thank you so much. Never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at time, hopefully by the time you're hearing this, we're at 100 subscribers. But if not, there's still like 2 more days, guys. If you're not subscribed and you're listening to this, please subscribe. Please, 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 please. That would be the best birthday present ever if we could hit 100.
Yeah, we're pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. You could find us there. So we've done all the things. We've added ourselves to all the feeds that we could, and it keeps getting, sent out. So yes, wherever you listen to us, we thank you.
Wherever you access your podcasts, we are probably there. But Spotify and YouTube are that's where our main listener base is.
Mm-hmm.
So to hit that milestone and be so close to that milestone is fucking sweet. That's awesome. Those are my only really numbery things. We have a shop, we have merch. We've had merch since pretty early on, but we finally settled with merch that we're happy with. So you can go to idlingintheimpala.com/merch or just click on the merch clicky thing on the website.
I mean, I'd say that if somebody listens to us and they want to support us in a way, like that would be a great way to support what we do, because we have to pay for web hosting space. We have to pay for Zoom accounts. We do have like expenses that go towards us. So even if it's just like, oh, I really think that shirt's cute, or I'd like to get that mug or whatever, like that'll help us out, And I think that's, or if you want us to, what is it? Is it coffee or Kofi? How is it pronounced?
I don't know.
People say Kofi and then people say coffee. So I don't know, but we have
I say Kofi
account where you could hit us up with a little gift there, buy us a coffee. If you want me to narrate something and, something on the side that's just for you, I'm doing commissions that way. So again, there's ways that your support would make sure we continue to do this. So yeah, if you want to say, hey, I'm going to get a shirt, hey, I'm going to get a mug, just know that it helps us with all the little incidental expenses that we have to go through for the podcast.
We are 100%. We're going to keep doing this as long as we can. It's genuinely not about the money, but if you like, if we brighten up your week, buying us a coffee would be fucking sweet. We would be endlessly appreciative. And if you're like, we have like, Sandra makes all of our merch. No, that's not true. There is merch. No, it is true. Currently, at time of recording, the only merch that is available is Sandra designed merch. We did have a fundraiser in the summer for Pride, and we had Priding in the Impala, which was art that was commissioned from our friend Jessica, and we will link her in the description. And I think you can get a mug with our Impala like header art, which was also commissioned by Freckles and Dimples, which we'll also link in the description. But I'm pretty sure that's on a mug. You can't get it on a shirt, but it's on a mug. But everything else, apart from those two things, is designed by Sandra, with minimal input from me, which is usually, Sandra, it won't do. Please make it different.
Yeah, and it's just and I just use Canva.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's real fucking good. It's good merch. So and we are aiming to not so much tone down, but maybe make the supernatural not quite as obvious. So we're wanting to design things that you could wear in public and not necessarily out yourself as a supernatural mega fan if you didn't want to. But that's all going to be coming in the new year anyway. So we're not done celebrating this year, but looking forward to next year, there will be a revamp of the merch and things like that. We're going to be kind of tweaking things a little bit. I like faffing with merch, guys. It's one of my favorite things.
It is. I can concur. So one of Karlee's favorite things is faffing. It's faffing with merch. I like
to faff with many things, not just merch. I like to listen. It took me so long to get a fucking organized folder system in this Google Drive.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
So long. Shit was just willy nilly, just in random folders, everywhere. And I was like, baby, no.
And you had patience to deal with Spring and then Fourth Wall and setting up the website itself. So Big
yeah,
claps.
the website is
Big claps.
the website is my baby.
Yeah.
I do that. And I keep saying that I'm eventually going to put a picture of the podcast mascot and his little backstory on there too, but the time of recording it isn't. Maybe it will be by the time this goes out. It's just an endeavor. He's a really boring cat. Like, I just be like, this is Jinx. Here's the podcast mascot. He's 8. I have had him since he was 8 weeks old.
Mm-hmm.
He's a demon of chaos, and he sleeps a lot, and he yells in your face. Like, that's it. What else can I say? I'm talking about you, fat boy.
Mm-hmm.
He's with us right now, but he's being quiet. Before we start looking too far forward into next year, let's celebrate some of the things that have happened this year. Sandra has notes to the surprise of nobody.
So I think I'm just going to talk about some of, we talked about some accomplishments, some numbers and different things like that. But I just wanted to point out a couple of, I guess, what I consider sort of like highs for the year. So I felt like this was the year when our listeners really started to engage with us more. And I wanted to do like a special shout out to the very first person that emailed us back in 2022, Miss Audubon. That was just such an amazing thing to get an email from somebody who listened and had thoughts about our episode. And the thoughts she shared about like fan fiction, characters, it's led to, I think, discussions that have ended up in quite a few episodes. But one of my favorite episodes from 2023 was created with her help and her experience as a social worker. And that was diagnosing Dean, the BPD debate. So we talked about our thoughts on a blog post from someone else from years back. The writer of the blog talked about their belief that Dean had borderline personality disorder. I like that episode a lot because it's indicative of, I think, Karlee and my I's ability to, we don't necessarily, I think, agree 100% on everything, but we have respect for each other's thoughts and feelings on a matter. And I think we do that with a lot of the people that we have discussions with. We didn't do that with the original poster of that blog because we just did not have a lot of patience with that take on it. But I'm even sure in a situation where, like, say we ever eventually like talk to that person, I think it wouldn't be us against them discussion. It would be, I'm really interested in how you would pick apart that or how you came to that conclusion. And I think that's in social media platforms and stuff where you don't always get that ability to just listen and hear someone else's thoughts. I really liked that for that episode because we had Miss Audubon's like typed out thoughts. Then we did like a table. It was like mine, Karlee's, and we just like had a discussion. Well, I don't see that. Why do you see that? How did you see that way? What, like, but we talked about it. And we, went away still wanting to talk to each other again after that. And I think that's a good thing. I don't know if culturally, societal, all that, it's always like that. So it's nice when you get to have those discussions with someone. And we get to do that a lot on this podcast, and especially with a lot of people we've had on. I think we've built a lot of connections with other creators and different people in the fanfic communities. And that's been another really great part and a high for this year. We had SPN Fanfic Pond creators and founders and current admins on in early 2023 just to talk about, fan fiction communities. And we also had Fanfic Ocean come on with them and how they worked collaboratively, like had like sister sites where, SPN Fanfic Pond, shocker, all about supernatural. And then Fanfic Ocean was about all the other fanfics and stuff and how they wanted to shout out and give writers and readers a place to feel accepted, feel welcomed, and just celebrate fan fiction. And I've been able to sort of like find a little place in the community as well, even though like I had tried before, but I hadn't quite, my lurker abilities were in full force and didn't do much of anything else. But now I actually, one of the prizes for members who win writing awards, they can choose to have me narrate one of their fan fictions. So I've done that 5 times in 2023, and they've, they haven't all been Dean/Reader. They haven't all been, they've been Wincest. There's been Destiel. There's been Sastiel. There's been
Dean Real.
Dean. So it's like, it's opening up to all these different ships and pairings. And I'm always surprised, like when somebody will ask me, like, well, if you don't want to, and I'm like, this is your prize. This is your award. Like, I'm here to narrate whatever you want. I've got a few definite no-nos, but aside from that, I don't care what your pairing love ship is. It's like, it's yours. It's like, it's your gift.
It's your thing.
Yeah. So I've really enjoyed that, being able to do that this year.
As someone who has had Sandra narrate quite a few of my fics, because when we started way back when, we were like, well, we're only going to do ours because we're not going to do someone else's without permission.
Mm-hmm.
It is the best feeling. It is so good to just, you'd be like, I made this and now it's like a real
now you
thing.
can hear it, you can hear it in another way. And I think that's, some people, it's a fun, just little inspiration of, your stuff and how it can, I've enjoyed doing those more and more every time. So it's been fun. I hope I get to do more again for any award winners for SPN Fanfic Pond in the future. But
if you win an award on SPN Fanfic Pond, you should definitely, Sandra should definitely be the gift that you choose, because there's nothing like it, guys. It's amazing. So good. So good.
And then I think the one other really big high for me was taking authors to task, where it was kind of like just something you'd said in passing one day, and
Sandra, to the surprise of nobody, really liked yelling at me about something that I'd done, which was how that came into being. She was like, no, I'm real mad about what you've done. Fucking talk about it.
Yeah, so we talked about it was Demonic Junkies, and I was like, and you were like, yeah, well, we could talk about it. So I made a PowerPoint, did a whole thing. I think that was also a great experience for us, because we got to see, this is what you can do with the video aspect of podcasting too. Like, because we're on YouTube, but we don't do video. So this was an opportunity where, on Spotify, you could watch the PowerPoint, but then PowerPoint slide, whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about. It's a presentation. And then we were able to have that expand into, Karlee had talked to me about my original fiction, Cowboy Cantor. And then we really liked the fact that we were really not just interviewing an author, but we were talking about one fiction in particular, like something that had really gotten us riled up about in some way, or wanted to just talk about it, and wanted to just talk about the fiction. So we ended up reaching out to Ronnie, who is Apple Crumbledore on AO3 and wrote the amazing Wincest Pine Sweat. And it was initially going to be an interview, like, we just kind of wanted to talk to them, but then it was, we really just want to can we just talk about Pine Sweat? So we did that for 2 hours, because we had originally done a Cannon Fodder fic rec, where it was all about Pine Sweat. Yeah, it was a reader rec, and it was all about Pine Sweat. And then we were like, well, now we actually get to talk to the author, and we still just want to talk all about Pine Sweat, because it was just such an amazing piece of fiction. So we kind of took that taking authors to task, jabby thing, but kind of like, but it's not really, it's
just gently.
It's gently taking authors to task for that situation, because it's just so great, and we just wanted to talk about it in depth. Yeah. So I'm hoping we can get to do more of those. We're not going to be able to do a ton of them, but I think every once in a while, I'm hoping when Dreamer comes on, like the West series can kind of be, or Sandman, however, because I know with me it'll be West, with you it'll be Sandman, but it'll be like that, wanting to, really get into these fics in detail kind of situation. Yeah. So yeah.
And also, if you have been a guest with us before, first of all, you're always welcome back. We've had a few repeat guests over the last few weeks that are going to be coming out, over time. But if you have one thing that you're like, this is my favorite thing, and you want to just come and talk about your thing and be like, I like everything I wrote, but this is my thing. Well, come and talk to us about it. That's one of my favorite things to do. I love talking to all of the guests that we have on, obviously, but when we get authors or artists as well, and that, you can really kind of dig into the inspiration and the thought process, and how does this, how do you get here from here? And I learned so fucking much that I see in my own writing as we go forward, as when you look back and you think, oh, I spoke to so and so, and then I've done this or I've done that. Right? That's genuinely one of my favorite things. So please, by all means, bring us your thing and let's fucking talk about it. You might have to give us 3 to 5 months to read your thing if it's large, but come and talk to us. We want to know about your thing.
So those, I mean, I don't know if I could say I have particular like episodes that are my favorites, but I'm really just enjoying talking to more of the people in the community. I really feel like this has been a great opportunity to reach out to people that love supernatural and fan fiction and the fandom as much as we do. So it's been great.
Yes.
It's been great.
Fully agree. So like Sandra, I didn't want to be like, oh, this is my favorite episode or this is my favorite guest, because I love them all. But I will say some of my highlights. I like any episode when Ted comes on, and Ted only comes on after Sandra and Ted have been to a con. For again, if you're brand new here, why have you started with the second birthday episode? But also, Ted is Sandra's husband. So Ted only appears despite repeated attempts to be like, can you please just get Ted on to chat? I just want to fucking hang out with him. He's endlessly cool. But he only comes on after they've been to cons. So it's real great because I get sad. Like I've spoken to Sandra while she's at the con and after the con and things like that. But I get Sandra's like, hyper fan, super fan, like, oh my God, I hugged Jensen. Oh my God, it was the fucking tits. And then I get Ted going to the hotel with fucking garbage and the transit system was awful. I had to drive in DC traffic. It was fucking, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. And I know it frustrates Sandra endlessly because a whole bunch of shit from episodes of Ted ends up getting cut out because me and Ted, we're like 5 tangents deep talking about car engines. And she's like, guys,
I've still got a whole outtake episode that is could be just about you and Ted that will eventually come out like as a, just here you go. Here's them just talking about whatever for like 40 minutes.
Genuinely like car crashes and different types of cars. And it's just like, we just haul off and like, I yell, but like, not really. I yell at everybody.
In a loving way.
It's a loving way. Yeah. But like repeatedly asked, please get Ted to just come on and just talk about like what is supernatural like from a guy's perspective on a scale of 0 to 10. How intimidated are you by Dean Winchester? You don't have to ask him that. All those like.
Do you know what's so funny now though? Like it's so funny now. Like when we're watching an episode and Dean's got a certain look, he's like, oh, that's how Jensen looked. It's like, okay, are you all right? PTSD? Are you okay? He's like, yeah. He's like, but man, he's like, it was just like that
in my soul. And then, like that's like apart from all the tangents.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. Like he's got this connection now, like especially with Jared. Look at all the Jared love you got in those two. Like so he gets more of an appreciation and a connection. I think that's what's really special about going to these conventions too. And I really hope you get the chance, and you will, to experience that because it's just this another extension of these characters, and then to have that few seconds changes everything. It changes your whole outlook. So yeah, I'm interested in having him back too, just to I kind of feel like you and he need to talk, and I just need to be out of the room just to like get a perspective where he doesn't feel like he's got to talk about, what he thinks I want him to talk about. Cause I know he gets very like, did I do good? Did I do okay? You always do good, Ted. It is, I have the best time talking to you. Yeah. And that is genuinely, that is one of my favorite things about it, that he's not being dragged to these things. Oh, happy wife, happy life. I think he was initially the first time.
But he's into it now. Yeah. He's, he's fully like, he's a fan of Supernatural in his own right. He's a fan of Jared and Jensen in his own right. It is, maybe it started off with happy wife, happy life. But now he's like, Jensen Ackles stared into my fucking soul, you guys. Which is just, honestly, it's great. It really is. And despite repeated attempts, and I have nagged my husband repeatedly, like, will you please come on the podcast? And he's like, no. And I'm like, you don't have to show your face. And he's like, no. And I'm like, but pretty please, no. What if I bring you a guy buddy? What if I bring Ted and you and Ted can talk about what it's like to have crazy fucking supernatural obsessed spouses? No. Okay. But we still rarely get like a male perspective on the show that it's, it's just fun. And Ted is fun. And you are free to share all this audio with him, and hopefully it will encourage him to come back and talk to me, because I like talking to him. He tangents in a very similar way that I do. So I don't think it's Sandra's favorite thing, but it's one of my favorite things. Sandra mentioned it very briefly when she was talking about when we started taking authors to task. The first taking authors to task was about my series, Demonic Junkies, because she was like, I am so mad. I cannot believe what you've done. Because, listeners, I achieved a thing that nobody thought was possible. I certainly didn't think it was possible. I have created, by some arcane magic, I think, I have created a Dean Winchester that Sandra can truly say she hates.
Mm-hmm. I hated. Yes. I hated. Yeah.
I'm bringing it back. We're redeeming it. Yeah. When was peak? When did we hit peak hate? Where was it?
It was when it was. Wait a minute. When was the moment in there when I was just like, I
can't remember,
because it was in regret. Was it in regret?
That's the Dean POV one.
No, blood. Whatever it was just how he was talking to Sam, or I can't remember. I'd have to listen back to the episode, because there was a literal point when I was like, this is just done. Maybe it was shame. Shame's
the only one I can think of that would be, he was peak nasty in Shame.
And it wasn't necessarily even I can't say it was necessarily the rape part of it, which obviously I was not happy with at all. But
PSA Junkies is a whole fucking mess of non-con.
But there was something about the way he was treating Sam in particular in one instance that I was just like, this just seems so anti everything Dean represents to me in relationship to how he always wants Sam to be safe. And he's literally doing everything against that. It was the antithesis of
it could have been it could have been Shame, because he's real fucking mean in Shame. But it could have been regret, because we get insight into Dean's POV in regret, but then you see the face that he puts on for Sam that is still fucking mean. So, but anyway, she was like, I hate this Dean Winchester. I was so proud. I'm still so proud of that. I didn't think that was possible. I did not think there was an incarnation of Dean Winchester that could be written. Certainly not by me. There are a million authors better than me that write Dean, but so certainly not by me that she could be like, no, I fucking loathe him. I'm real pleased. So, in response to that, I was like, okay, let's talk about it. You can take me. I'll take my beatings live on air, so to speak. So, and she made a PowerPoint and everything. She was really prepared. And then there was like a follow-up that was like diagnosing Dean and all the different things, that like all the different aspects to Demon Dean.
We're talking about I think Sigmund Freud and like getting into his like, the id and all that other stuff. And we were talking about how enmeshed the boys are and how that goes back to the family relationship and all that kind of dynamic, and how it just kind of like creates this nonsense of situations that they constantly have to put themselves in. And like if they could just be open and honest, and it would avoid all of that. But again, that wouldn't be the show if it wasn't, so
it wouldn't be. Yeah, absolutely. But after we did that, Sandra released her latest novel, Cowboy Cancer, and I was like, you better believe I got questions, motherfucker. You better believe. And that is one of my highlights of the year, because that was like a real labor of love for Sandra. And the book itself is very outside of what I would normally read, but it was so good. It was so good. And I got to like it, like that for the first time for me, that felt like conducting a real interview, because I had like questions and I was like, but what about this? And what about that? And, like that was like a real thing for me. And it's obviously me and Sandra bounce ideas back and forth about fanfic and things like that. Cause she used to be a fic hoarder. I keep doing this to people. Dreamy used to be a fic hoarder as well, but she used to be a fic hoarder, and she used to just like a little dragon, just keep it all until it was ready, and nobody can see it before it's ready. And I came along and I was like, well, show me what it is, because I am not a fic hoarder. I crave validation. I require someone to approve every goddamn sentence I write. So I just share, like, I'll write a paragraph and I'll be like, what do you think? I throw my fics out to the people around me. So I was like, okay, well, show me, like, let me in and I will help.
Mhm.
So we bounce ideas back and forth for fic, but she fucking hoards her original fiction. She's like, no, it's mine. Nobody can have it. So I hadn't got any insight into the writing process while it was happening.
Mhm.
So I had to like save up all my questions.
Right.
And I remember reading it going, I'm not going to make notes. I want to read this authentically as just a reader, as it's any other book, not my friend Sandra wrote this book and I have, like, I don't want to analyze this book. I just want to enjoy it as a reader. And then I got to the end and went, shit, I wish I'd made notes. I need notes, motherfucker. But that was great. Just being able to just like pick your brain and, see the similarities between the characters and some characters from Supernatural
Mhm.
and be able to go, hey, was this a reference? And you go, no, it was not.
Or at
And
least
I'm
not
like,
a conscious reference. Yeah. Like, and I
watch.
think that shows how much we have certain things about the show kind of, ingrained and it just kind of comes out sometimes. Yeah. The Jared thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
J-Rod.
remember
That was
yeah.
what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was about to go and open up the doc, but that was what it is.
That's what it
She had a
is.
character that was nicknamed J-Rod, and I was like, is this a Jared reference? And she went, nope. What are you talking about? And I was like, this is a nickname for Jared. What the fuck? Where the fuck have you been living? Do you live under a Jared roof? And she was like, no, that was completely by accident. What?
Mhm. Yeah.
So that is one of my definitely one of my highlights, one of my favorite things that we've done this year. And I mean, to the surprise of nobody, one of my highlights, if, taking authors to task is Sandra's baby, then fact versus fiction is mine. Again, very similar to how the podcast started, by which we wanted to yell about Supernatural and our friends were bored with it. Sandra got bored of me yelling at her. She's like, you need to talk about this because I'm sick of hearing it. So now I get to yell on the internet.
Mhm.
But I'm real proud of that because it started as something silly.
Mhm.
It started, the first episode was about like sort of like safe anal sex lube, just like real basics. But I like it's presented quite funny. I don't want to like toot my own horn, but I think it's funny. I think I'm funny all the time though. So. People don't tend to agree, but I think I'm funny.
You are
but
funny.
it's evolved and it's grown, and I don't think all three of them will be out when this goes out.
Mm-mm.
But we've just kind of wrapped up almost like a trio
Mhm.
on BDSM and kink and things like that, and we've covered like a really long episode on consent, which is live at the moment, and then there's a long-ish, not as long, but longer-ish episode on aftercare as well that I'm really, really proud of. Like, they took quite a lot of time to research. They were quite emotionally difficult to record.
Yeah.
I'm real fucking proud of them. And I'm hoping to get back to the lighthearted, don't put things up your ass with water. That's a fucking mistake. You'll end up in the ER. But I'm real proud of them. So that fact versus fiction, although it started quite late in the year, is definitely a highlight for me. And
well, I think it's great too, because like the whole name of it and the whole reasoning behind it too is that we're taking the reality of it, but putting it into fiction and highlighting, the fiction aspect of it, which I think is, that part becomes entertaining, but then like reference material for writers if they don't necessarily have a lot of insight, or maybe they're interested in writing something about it, but they really want to write it more authentically and they really want to have it feel real. I mean, sometimes you don't want to, like, fiction's fiction and you don't want to have to worry about any of this stuff. Like we've talked about, like there's certain situations where it's just whatever it is. But if you want it to really kind of resonate and feel more like the characters too, depending on the situation, then I think the work that Karlee's done for the writers, I think is appreciated, because I know it helped me out a lot too, having them to bounce things off of and to explain things to me. So now we're kind of like now everybody else gets to have that. So that's
I'm a resource, guys.
You
I'm a resource. Hit
so
me
yeah,
up in the comments.
let us know.
Yeah.
What else?
Anything else that you want me to cover and, comedically yell about. You don't get much with me that doesn't come with yelling, I'm afraid. But I'll try and do it in a comedic way. And I have been informed, I have written proof that at least one person thinks my yelling is kind of endearing.
No,
I have that in email form.
We've been getting that a lot lately, so it's taken off.
Yeah. I mean, I know sometimes, especially if, we're encouraging you to reach out and give us your thoughts on a subject, I appreciate that I can sometimes come off slightly intimidating and threatening and be like, yeah, fuck you, come and talk about it. But I swear to God, I'm not. I'll have like a reasonable debate with you. My yelling is mostly for effect. Mm-hmm. Like, if I was really mad at you, like, I wouldn't reach out to you. Yeah, you'd know for a start off, but also like I would not invite somebody on the podcast to fucking lay into them for real. Yeah, it's all in good fun, you know. And I feel like if I get the sense that my yelling is not hitting the right pitch, I'll stop. Mm-hmm. So, fair be warned though, if you are planning on coming on the podcast and you are hashtag Team Dean, there will be ribbing about that.
Yeah,
I will protest quite loudly
until we get that table more balanced out and we get more Sam stuff. It's going to be like that for a while. Yeah,
and I will just, the whole point, as Sandra keeps referencing this, the whole point of me being a co-host on this podcast is because it would just be the Dean show otherwise. And I was like, no. We need some balance in this motherfucker. You cannot just rant about Dean for an hour a week on the internet. I mean, you can, but
but it's been really, again, I think the whole experience of it too. Like, I think I've done this for you too, Karlee, a little bit too. Is like, your take on Sam has given me more time to really think about him and look at him a little differently too. And like,
for sure.
As we continue to. I don't think we're getting tired of talking about these characters. I think we always find something new and interesting to kind of deep dive into with them one way or another. So I think it's great to have that. I mean, I think I've felt a little more comfortable with him too as a character, even in terms of like, putting him into some fiction and stuff like that. So I think that's helpful, and it's great to have that balance.
Thank you.
It's all about balance, right?
It's all about balance. But some of you need to get over here because this moose is heavy. Okay. So some of you need to get on here as guests and come help me hold up this moose.
We're gonna try. I've got a list. I've got to start reaching out to a couple more Sam lovers that I've been directed towards. So I'm gonna give that a try and see.
Send your Sam fans.
Yeah, Sam fans.
Us.
Sam fans, please.
Fans. Yes, we need them. No more Dean fans for at least a minute. We've had a lot of Dean fans, but no, I'm exactly the same with Dean. Through talking to Sandra and through talking to a lot of the guests that have come on, that God, there's so many of you guys that are Team Dean. So many of you. He's heavy. I don't know if you've ever tried to pick up a moose, but they weigh a lot. I mean, he's got the great bod and the hair, but heavy. My arms are tight.
He's still heavy.
So heavy. But through like talking to you and listening to you tell me about this character that has captured your heart and your imagination, it's so cool is not the right word, but it's so awesome to just get that deeper understanding, because I feel I didn't have a good understanding of Dean. I called Sandra in to help me write a Dean section on something I was working on, because I was like, I don't know how to write Dean, this is awful, please come and help me. But through just like I said, like talking to Sandra and getting a deeper understanding of the character, and then guests that come on and their takes are always different. No one comes on and says exactly the same things about Dean as anybody else or Sandra, and that's awesome to just I see this character that captured your heart and your imagination, and I learned so much about him that it's frankly it's becoming a real fucking problem, because I made him a real asshole in Junkies, and I don't know how to reconcile my asshole with this beautiful character that you all have shown me, and now I'm like, oh, piss.
No, but
this was a mistake.
From what I'd read and from what you're doing, you're getting into the ultimate feels of the character too. So it'll work itself out. It's going to get there. So I mean, like I said, I think the version of Dean that I saw in the beginning, you're kind of like dealing with the effects and the shame of all of that, and now how to fix it, which we want them to fix it. We want them to make it right.
Trying, guys,
for themselves, for each other. We just want them to be good, like be good with themselves. So that's the that's the goal. I think that's all of our goals in general. And I think that's what, we want for them too. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I wouldn't pick. I mean, I was going to say, no, that's not true, but it is true. My Sam moment right from the start of the year would probably rank quite highly if I had to rank podcast episodes, but that's narcissistic. I'm like, oh my God, Jared. No, it wasn't even a Sam moment. It was a Jared moment. Jared liked my tweet on Twitter. Holy shit. But, those are some of my some of my highlights of the year. And it goes without saying, every guest episode we've had is a highlight. Please come and talk to us. I promise I'm not as threatening as I might appear sometimes. And the yelling is only the comedic effect. Okay. You come on your own risk if you're Team Dean. I will rib you about it, but all in good fun, all in good jest. And we get so many people that come on and go, oh, I'm nervous. And by the end of it, they're like, you guys are a riot. And you don't need to be nervous. We're fucking idiots. Okay. Yeah. What you see is what you get.
Knowing that people would be, if people want to come back, we know we've done a good job. We've welcomed them. We've made them feel comfortable. And again, it's just talking about something that we all love, and it could come from different aspects and different creative avenues, but it's all just, indulging for an hour and a half to just talk about something that just at the end of the day does make you feel good and gives you that, little pump in like adrenaline, or those endorphins get to come out and get to make you feel. I think one of our last interviews was like, I still feel so great after talking to you guys, because it was just we were just talking about stuff that was fun and light, and how much what someone can do has an effect on somebody else, and how wonderful that effect can be. And that's what we want to do. Like, we want people to feel good and happy with supernatural fan fiction. We can have our takes on it and be like, oh God, and be like irritated about something or do a little nitpicky stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, we would not love this show and these characters and still be doing this. Like, that's just wouldn't be something. Nobody would be happy with this part-time job that doesn't pay anything if we did this, and we were miserable about it. Yeah.
This part-time job that we pay money to do. I'm sorry. I didn't zone out while you were talking then, but I had a moment of what the fuck, because I looked over and the podcast mascot is my cat Jinx, as I've talked about, and he is here for most recordings because I am not allowed to go anywhere that he does not supervise. He's not like, no, that's not true. He'd be real happy if he could live in my eyeball. That would be his peak cat life, if he could just exist within my person so I could never leave. But he's always around when I record. But I just looked over at him and he just buried his nose into his back foot. I just had like a mildly confused look on his face. He wasn't cleaning his foot or anything. He just pushed his nose against the pad of his back foot and was like stretchy toes, spready toes, just sat there. And I was just like, are you okay? I don't know what's happening. Do you smell toast? Are you having a stroke? What is happening?
Oh, he's okay, right? He's good.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely fine. He's a happy boy. He's offering up belly sketches at the moment.
Good.
I promise, guys, I really will put a page up on the website of Jinx, because he's been here from the very start as well. And very, very, not to say that he doesn't yell a lot when we're recording, but Sandra is real good at about taking them out, or Zoom,
Zoom is really good at not letting us hear it to begin with. So yeah.
Zoom considers it background noise and takes it out. But he's a beautiful muffin, and he's an excellent mascot. But no, I was fully with you, but I was also like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing with your foot?
Aww.
Strange boy.
I think that's I'm excited to say that we can call 2023 a wrap, and we can
before we call it a wrap. Before we call 2023 a wrap, we have a few apologies to make.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was going to forget that again. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's why we have apologies to make. No, it's me. It's always me, guys. If you have reached out to us, particularly in the last kind of 4-ish months, if you have reached out to us with recommendations for fics or emails that we have definitely said we will get back to you, and then we haven't, we are really, really sorry. Okay, we are really, really sorry. I am specifically speaking to ScaryVonJeanieStyne / that girl Jane Fox, who emailed us in August and was like a really great, really lovely email about like AUs and witches and stuff like that. And Sandra went, give us a couple of days to reply. Karlee will do this also. And then I didn't. And I am real fucking sorry about that. And I'm going to email you after this recording and go, I'm real sorry. I have apologized to you live on podcast air. Sorry. I will reply. But if you have reached out to us with a recommendation that we have not covered a canon fodder episode or something like that, there are a few of you that I'm going to shout out. The reason for that is because you keep recommending us these really amazing, awesome, but long fics. And as you may have already gathered, we both have like full-time jobs, and this is a part-time second job. And we just didn't have the time to get to them. And then we were like, shit, we really need to mention that in the birthday episode.
Yeah.
So, in no particular order, Time Lady Agnes, who tweeted us back in, I don't even want to, I'll get the date. I closed the Twitter tab because I opened it in AO3 because I'm an idiot.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Oh, it was in September. That's not too bad.
Okay.
It was, but who tweeted us in September, giving us a fic recommendation, Receding, which I have in my to read later, like marked for later fic list, but it is 38k and I haven't had time to read it, and I'm going to get to it, and I am real sorry. I'm real sorry about that. Also, shout out to, this was a comment that was left on YouTube by Julie-ZR4DM, which was for a fic called Head Over Feet, which I have actually read before and have read since, but I'm waiting on Sandra to catch me up with that one so we can talk about it. But it may well be that we do a canon fodder where I sell Sandra on that, because it is a fucking kick-ass fic. And thank you endlessly for seeing it and thinking of me and, you know, giving me a shout out about it. So we've got another one here. We've got Sure Got a Dirty Mouth, which was recommended in email by Pink Hippos. I have read Sure Got a Dirty Mouth. Again, I'm waiting on Sandra to catch me up. But again, that one is real long. So that may be another one that I sell to Sandra in a canon fodder episode. But please, we are keeping a list. Please don't think that we're like forgetting them. Or, you know, you're yelling into the void and we're not picking them up. I promise we are. We have a list, guys. They're so big. And the last one, this is slightly more recent, I think. And this, well, it's not recent. It was in August. I'm real fucking sorry again to ScaryVonJeanieStyne / that girl Jane Fox, who sent us again a lovely email about AUs and told us about an AU that she was writing called Son of a Bawd, which again I haven't read. It's on my list. I'm real fucking sorry. I'm going to reply to your email. I'm going to read your thing. Life got away from me in August. I don't know what happened. Just life got away from me. I am real sorry.
Well,
but
sweetie, you started your new job.
I started back in July. I should have been well into it in August.
No,
but yeah,
it's life. Yeah, everybody understands that. Yes, everybody understands that.
Life got away from us.
Yeah.
So that is certainly projection going forward for 2024. By Christ, we're going to sit down and do some canon fodder episodes on these recommendations.
I think we're going to try and do them more. Like, I think we just have to find a different system of like making sure like stuff is saved where it goes, and that we can make sure we, you know, at some point, even if it's just a short episode, you know, like we're going to get them out. We're going to, you know, at least summarize, read, rec, or do something to the extent where we give everybody sort of like a shout out a little more timely. So that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's going to be one of our New Year's resolutions. We're going to try that, and hopefully, cross fingers,
Post-it notes.
We're able to do
Post-it
that.
Notes.
Post-it notes help. Yeah.
Post-it notes. I like a good post-it note. But again, to those 4 people, I'm real sorry. I dropped the ball there. That is on me. I am real sorry. If you do reach out to us though, either by email or comments on YouTube, we tend to respond in a timely manner. It might be a please bear with us. Again, I'm real sorry. ScaryVonJeanieStyne, I'm sorry. It might be a bear with us, but I know that particular listener had a conversation with Sandra. It was me that dropped the ball there. But
Yeah.
we respond to comments on YouTube, we respond to emails, and we respond to tweets and things like that. The only place that we cannot respond, for whatever reason, for the fucking powers that be, if you leave like a Q&A on Spotify, there's like, if you listen to us on Spotify, like there's like a what did you think of this episode that you can put like an answer in. So you can leave us comments on Spotify, but we can't reply to you.
Yeah, we can't
there.
reply to you that way. Yeah. So no, we're getting it, especially if we've published it, it means we've seen it.
We've seen it. Yeah, absolutely. But a couple that I want to draw attention to is one that actually this really, really got me in the feels. Way back at the start of the year, we're not going to talk about it because it was we published a 3-part episode called We Don't Talk About Misha, but we got to talk about Misha. And part 1 of that episode was an outline of my personal journey not into how I became queer, but, you know, like my journey of like discovering my sexuality and then my gender identity and blah, 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 blah. And it fed into some things that have gone on with Misha. And like I said, we're not going to talk about it. Jabberjaws, which is the name that they left us on Spotify, left us a comment on one of those episodes that just said, can relate to being bi and being told a lot in high school by my BFF. If you get one more crush on a female celebrity, I'm going to be uncomfortable having sleepovers with you. It happens a lot. And I just want to say, I couldn't reply to you. And obviously I have no other information to reach out to you, but I'm real fucking sorry that happened. Unfortunately, it does happen a lot. We talked a lot in those episodes about bi erasure and biphobia and things like that. But I just wanted to shout that out because I did see it and it did really resonate with me. I just had no way to contact you back and, you know, open up a dialogue with you. So when we were rounding things up for the end of the birthday episode and we were like, oh shit, we have apologies to make for people that we have not got back to. Sorry. This kind of came in with that. And again, this one's slightly more recent. Sandra has been doing a full, complete read-through of Pine Sweat, chapter by chapter. You know, each episode is a chapter. So this one's real new from Callie Faye, and it just says, this chapter is so intense. Wonderful job narrating, which again, thank you so much. We have no way to reply to you on Spotify. So please don't let that stop you from leaving like comments or answers on Spotify. Just know that just because we don't reply, it doesn't mean that we don't see them. We just have no avenue to reply. I just saw an edit button and I thought for a second that there might be a way to freaking reply, but it wasn't. It was just to edit the question, which is just always what do you think about this episode? So if you have been one of the wonderful people that have sent us Rex and you haven't heard anything back, hopefully this explains why. Yeah. Hang in there, we're getting to it. And if you have reached out to us on Spotify, we are not ignoring you. We literally have no way to reply to you. So if you wanna get in touch with us, leave us some contact details in your answers or send us an email, basically, and we will, you know, we're forever in our inbox. We will reply to you. My New Year's resolution is for that reply to not be, please give us a couple of days, and then it's like 4 months later. Yeah. Again,
plus we have plenty of like avenues and opportunities and methods for people to get in touch with us. But yes, if you want to ensure, you know, that we have a way to get back in touch with you. Again, like some people like that, I think, and anonymity of too, like just doing a, you know, whether it's a because you do a voice message on Spotify, you can leave a Q&A. So again, there's that, but know that if it's published, we see it. And most definitely if I think we've got 2 voice messages. So if we get more of those, you know, we definitely are going to be highlighting them. I think we're just, again, trying to figure out the best way to kind of like package all of this interaction, you know, so it makes more sense and isn't just here and there, you know. So I don't know, maybe we just do monthly shout out or something. If we start to get a lot of stuff, or even if we just get one, we'll just do a little mini shout out to everybody. We could do that towards the end of the month. That could be part of our thing. That's what we're going to start to do. We're going to do that, Karlee. We are
going to do that. And speaking as someone who is also very active on my personal YouTube, getting shout outs from YouTubers is one of my favorite fucking things. So leave us comments, send us emails, leave us Spotify Q&As, give us Rex, and we will do a monthly shout out. We will not let it get to the point where you are sending us things in August and September and it is now December and we're going, we are really sorry. We didn't ignore you. Life happened. Yeah. Look, life just keeps doing that, doesn't it? It just keeps fucking happening to me. Like me specifically.
I just think it's amazing any of us are still functioning on a regular basis. So I think we should all give ourselves a little bit of grace on that. And I'm sure the listeners feel the
Round of
same and
applause.
understand. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hoping that my mic and Zoom allow that to come through. Because I didn't want to burst into like a very loud round of applause, but I'm hoping that my mic pick that up. We'll see.
Or just clap.
Or just clap yourself. If your mic will pick it up, just clap yourself. Yeah. Everybody, round of applause, everybody, for making it through another fucking year.
Yeah.
Is the only thing that we can, I don't know, man, COVID, the pandemic, something changed. And now each year just feels like, oh my, made it through that one. Thank fuck for that.
Yeah. Most
But we're not gonna get down. We're not gonna get down. This is a celebratory episode. This is a celebratory episode. Cupcakes for all except me. I can't have cupcakes. No, that's not true. My husband made diabetic safe, well, not safe, but friendly cupcakes, and they were real nice.
Good.
With like lemon cream cheese frosting.
Good.
Real nice. And like sugar, like artificial sweetener, sugar substitute. But yeah. So I'm gonna have a diabetic friendly cupcake, but y'all can have real cupcakes.
Good.
That we are not going to provide. You must provide your own cupcake.
Oh god.
BYOC, bring your own
Bring
cupcake.
your own cupcake. Yeah. So
I guess what we should. No, we're going to call it Toddling in the Impala. I was like, we should call this Bring Your Own Cupcake.
Well, I'm going to change the podcast icon to like, I know we've got a cupcake on there, but maybe I'll see if I can add like two candles.
Two cupcakes.
Maybe
Yay,
two candles on it. So we'll see what I can do.
That's amazing. But that kind of, now we've done our apologies. That's kind of a wrap on 2023. So looking forward to 2024. We already have some stuff recorded.
Thank God.
Sandra likes a buffer. And at the start of this year, we had a real good buffer. And then we don't know what fucking happened, but suddenly we were like, shit, we need an episode for next week.
Yeah.
There's an episode due on Tuesday and it's Friday. Fuck.
Yeah.
So we've been genuinely frantically working, lots of weekends to get ourselves caught up with this year and get some stuff in place for next year. But we have some episodes that are already recorded, ready to go. We've got ideas for others. If you've been a guest with us in the last couple of weeks, hi, it's been real, hasn't it? Your episode, it may be coming out at the start of next year. I think most people's will have gone already by the time this goes out, but there are a couple that are waiting until next year.
Yeah, I love that though. I love that we've got so many interviews and stuff still to like record and still to come out next year. So we're in a good place. We're surrounded by lots of great people in the fandom, so it's gonna be fun.
And as always, if you have come and been a guest with us, you are always welcome back. Like always, you want to talk about fanfic, you want to talk about your favorite supernatural episode, you want to talk about your thing, you'd be like, I made this is my thing. Come and we'll gently take you to task on it, and we'll do like a real deep dive into your thing. Anything. I would like more like artists. If you are an artist, you draw fan art, I would really love for you to come and talk to us, because obviously me and Sandra are both authors and we talk to a lot of authors, but I think fan art is I don't think it gets the attention that it deserves. So I would love to speak to more artists, like visual artists, not written artists. I'm confusing myself. Because I would love to pick your brains on how your interpretation of a character translates to art as opposed to words. I'm really interested in that, but I don't know any artists. Please make yourself known. We want to talk to you. Hi, it's us. Yeah, we're going to do a monthly shout out. So keep sending us, and we'll shout out like YouTube comments and stuff like that as well. So, we'll reply to you, but we'll still shout you out. That would be freaking sweet. If you want to chat to us, just general, send us an email. We will stick Post-it notes to our foreheads to remind ourselves to actually reply. Again, we are really sorry. It's me, guys. I'm the problem. She replies straight away. I'm the problem. It's me. Anything you want to see happen in 2024 with the podcast?
No, I just want to see it continue to grow. I want to see that. I want to see the growth, and I want to, yeah, see the
Sandra
community.
likes the numbers.
I'd love to see more people on our Discord. I think that would be great. Our little community there. I think that would be sweet.
We should probably start shouting that out more.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the only problem is that, okay, if you've been with us since the beginning, you know that our outros can be really long. So we were trying to find a way to kind of wrap up, the contact information. So you can find all of our stuff on the website. Like if you are unsure about how to get to where, go to the website. That's how you'll find all the different ways you can reach out to us. So
yes,
do that. But yes, we have a Discord where
come hang out. We post.
Yeah,
we bounce fic ideas. Anybody finds a nice picture of Jared and Jensen, that goes straight in the fucking Discord.
Should we just have a nice little safe place to just check in and just be, and that's fun. And we could like not hear from anybody for a couple weeks, and all of a sudden just somebody randomly just post something in there. So but it's a nice way to just have that like ability to chat with people who listen to the show and love Supernatural. So yeah,
and it's just a little if you're like maybe Discord. One of the conversations that happened recently in our Discord was, if Sam was the one that made the speech at the end of LARP and the Real Girl, what speech would he have made? Dean made the speech from Braveheart, but what speech would Sam have made? And I went quite like mainstream. And the person who asked this question, BJ, hi BJ, and Sandra went to like Shakespeare quotes. And it was, there was like videos exchanged. It was a real kind of, it was a kind of thing. All right. I went a little bit traditional. I was like Charge of the Light Brigade by Tennyson.
Oh yeah. I didn't do the Shakespeare. That was BJ all the way. And then I was like,
what did you do? Oh no.
I thought that he would do something from like Harry Potter because of Charlie, and they talked about it before. So I figured it was like maybe like the Neville speech or some version of it at the end or something like that. Like he would like, do a redo of it. But no, BJ did Shakespeare, but then I found a video of
it's
it. It's because
like, you did the video,
we have Sam and Dean do this one scene that BJ had like specifically like talked about, and then I had to find the scene, and then I was like, oh, this is such a great scene. I think they should both take turns with it. So yeah, it was that.
I'm gonna need to put in the clip of Jared and Jensen reading. Oh, I'm sure it's The Raven by Poe.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. That'd be good to put in there. But see, this is what happens.
Yeah, it's not all like it's supernatural, like a lot of supernatural stuff in there. But sometimes we go well rogue. Sometimes we're fucking all the way out there. So yeah, join the Discord. Go to idlingintheimpala.com. Come chat with us in the Discord. And if you have any recommendations, keep sending them to us. I promise we'll be better next year. Sorry, this year got away from us. I'm gonna stop apologizing at some point.
Yeah, let's stop.
Yeah, okay. I feel bad. It was my fault.
No. Again, it just happens. And again, I think the listeners are fine with it. They understand, and we're making amends. So it should all be good. It should all be good.
I hope so. But yeah, send us recs. But also, if you've come across if you have a theory about, like one of the characters or an episode or something like that, or you found a theory, hit us up and we'll dissect it. We'll have a chat about it, because I really like doing that. I really like examining like character traits and things like that, and trying to find a place for them in the real world, even though we acknowledge that you can't find a place for these things in the real world. But yeah, I would like to connect with some visual artists in 2024, and I would just like to keep connecting with you guys. Keep reaching out to us. This is fun. And remember, 100 YouTube subscribers by our birthday. You've got like 2 days when this goes out. Please. That would be fucking sweet. I kind of think that's it. I think we've kind of covered everything.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just...
Now we're going to burst into song. Happy birthday.
No, we're not doing that. No, we're going to say, we're going to remind everybody, if you want to reach out to us, you could email us at idlingintheimpala@gmail.com. You can comment on Spotify and use the Q&A section to share your thoughts. All our contact details, including where you can find our Discord, are on our website, idlingintheimpala.com. Go check it out.
The link to the Discord is in the description as well. Don't forget to like, comment, share, follow, subscribe. Remember, 100 by our birthday. You've got 2 days. This, wherever you access your podcast, literally, we're fucking everywhere, guys, wherever you access your podcast. But especially if you are watching or listening on YouTube, engagement like that really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Remember, 100 by our birthday, 2 days. So, that kind of stuff really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. All hail its benevolence. In the description, as always, causes that we are championing. It is just about coming to the end of the holidays. We've got a new year. Holidays can be kind of awful for lots of people, but they can especially be awful for members of the LGBTQ plus community, which you all know I am a part of. So I have left links in the description to a UK and a US based charity that are talking charities that will put you in touch with somebody if, you just need somebody to talk to, if you are in crisis, things like that. Because we do know that although it would be great if everyone had a safe and loving home to go back to during the holidays, not everybody does. Not everybody is surrounded by safe people. And if you need a bit of help to get through these holidays, whatever your situation, that is what they are there for. This is the last episode of 2023, which means next year is 2024, which means it's fucking election season for the presidential elections in the US. It's always election season in the US. We have an election every week. I don't understand why. But this is the big one, guys. Don't forget, channel the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's a jump to the left, not a step to the right, okay? I don't particularly care where your politics lie. You cannot let that madman back in the White House. Jesus Christ, he'll kill us all, okay? So, jump to the left, not a step to the right. But Sandra has included some links down there to kind of inform yourself, keep updated and appraised of any laws or rules or things that might be subject to change and things in your local area around elections. One of the best things you can do is keep yourself as up to date as possible, because as we know, they are not above election fuckery and messing about. And I'm not talking about election fraud and a stolen election. I'm talking about not giving ballot points, enough fucking ballots for people that want to vote, shit like that. So keep yourself informed, vote early, make sure that your voice is heard.
Make sure you're registered. Yeah,
make sure you're registered. Keep an eye on what ID that your area, your state, whatever is wanting. That's actually recently come out here in the UK. But I won't get into that now because this is the outro and I'll keep us here for another fucking half an hour ranting about that shit. I'll rant to Sandra in private. Maybe it'll be an outtake. But yeah, all that, make sure you're registered, make sure you've got your ID, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And it is our sincere hope that by the time this episode goes out at the end of December, it is currently the end of November, this next section won't be needed anymore, but at time of recording, it is. So we are drawing attention, championing, spotlighting, highlighting all of the words that are big neon fucking signs to two charities that are on the ground, both in the Ukraine and in Gaza. It is World Central Kitchen and Doctors Without Borders, who are both helping out people that are still trapped, feeling the effects of Russia's unlawful invasion of the Ukraine, which is still an ongoing war that nobody seems to be fucking talking about anymore. Mm-hmm. And also they are on the ground in Gaza, helping and supporting people that are, trapped by the Israel-Hamas war conflict that is currently ongoing. I don't want to make this political. This is not a political issue. It does not matter which side of this conflict you fall on, who you think is in the right. There are people in Gaza that are stuck. They are starving. They are dying. They are unable to leave the area for their own safety. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's not political. It's humanitarian. These charities are on the ground. They are feeding. They are providing medical aid. And that is what is important. This is not political. And ditto the situation in the Ukraine. I'm not interested in who you think is right. People are stuck. They are stranded. They are dying. These charities are there trying to do what they can to help. So we're hoping that we won't need this section for too much longer. But while ever these conflicts are going on, we're going to keep yelling about helping those people that are stuck there. So if you need any of the resources that I have just outlined, all the links are in the description. And if you can donate to help them keep helping others, that would be amazing. And we would thank you very much. And with that, we will say happy birthday to the Impala. We're 2. on Thursday. Yay! I didn't sing. Sandra's very happy.
Yes, I am.
And we will say thank you for joining us in the backseat. We will see you in 2024. We will see you in the next year, and we will keep riding on forward. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.